Imagine standing in front of a crowd, your heart racing, palms sweaty, and words stuck. That was Drew's life for as long as he could remember. A stutter that made each word feel like a mountain, each sentence a challenge. But what if I told you that this very boy, who struggled to speak, would one day captivate audiences with his voice? This is Drew's journey, a story of resilience, courage, and an unbelievable transformation from stutter to stardom. Drew's stutter wasn't just a speech impediment, it was an emotional burden. Every mispronounced word felt like failure. Kids teased him, called him names, and every day he wondered why speaking couldn't be as easy for him as it was for others. He avoided class presentations, dreaded introductions, and stayed silent in social situations, retreating into a world of isolation. I used to think I was broken. The frustration of not being able to say something simple like hello without stammering was suffocating. I felt invisible, like my voice didn't matter. But deep down, I always had a dream. I wanted to be heard. I wanted to stand on stage and make people listen not to my stutter, but to my words. It was music that changed everything. In the rhythm of a song, Drew found freedom. When he sang, his stutter vanished. The melody became his voice. And for the first time, he realized that his stutter didn't define him. But this journey wasn't easy. Drew's stutter didn't magically disappear overnight. There were moments of doubt, times when he questioned whether he would ever be able to stand on stage without his words betraying him. Yet, something inside him refused to give in. With every setback, he worked harder, pushing past the fear, refusing to let his stutter control his life. And then there was his first performance, a small crowd, but to Drew, it felt like the world. Every note, every lyric flowed effortlessly. For the first time, he wasn't just a boy with a stutter. He was a singer. He was Drew. Drew. I'll never forget that moment. It was like something clicked. I had found my voice, my real voice. And from that day on, I knew I could do it. I could beat the stutter, not by forcing it away, but by embracing what made me unique. One small performance turned into another, and then another. Each time, Drew's confidence grew. Soon, he wasn't just a boy with a stutter, trying to sing. He was a performer, a rising star. Today, Drew performs on some of the biggest stages in the world. His songs inspire millions, his story touches hearts, and his voice, the same voice that once faltered with every word, is now his greatest strength. Drew. My stutter will always be a part of me. But I've learned that it doesn't have to hold me back. If anything, it's made me stronger. It's taught me resilience, patience, and the power of finding my own way to communicate. To anyone out there struggling with their voice, remember, it's not about speaking perfectly. It's about being heard, being understood, and never giving up on your dreams. Drew's story isn't just one of overcoming a stutter. It's a reminder that no obstacle is too big when you find the strength within. From stutter to stardom, Drew's journey proves that even the quietest voice can become the loudest in the room. Have you ever felt trapped in a bubble? Comfortable, yet unfulfilled? This is Tony's story, a story of transformation, a journey from comfort to success. 1. The comfort zone. Tony lived what many would call an ideal life. A steady job, a cozy apartment, good friends, and enough entertainment to pass the time. There was comfort in the routine: wake up, work, come home, relax. Day after day, the same. But comfort is a double-edged sword. While it shields you from risks, it also blocks your path to growth. Deep down, Tony felt something was missing. Life was comfortable, but it lacked passion, purpose, and the thrill of chasing dreams. 2. The realization. One evening, while chatting with friends, Tony had a sudden realization. Everyone around her seemed to be growing, chasing their dreams, breaking barriers. But what about her? What was her dream? Was she truly happy? She thought back to her younger self, brimming with potential and dreams of becoming someone bigger, someone impactful. Somewhere along the way, that fire had dimmed. Tony realized that staying in the comfort zone meant sacrificing those dreams. 3. Taking the first step. And so, Toni made a decision. She would break free from the bubble of comfort. She would challenge herself. But taking the first step is always the hardest. The fear of failure crept in. The what-ifs echoed in her mind. Yet, despite the fears, Toni understood one simple truth: growth begins at the edge of the comfort zone. Her first challenge, to start running, something she'd always wanted to do but never had the courage or discipline to begin. It was tough, uncomfortable, and far from easy. But every time she laced up her shoes, Toni reminded herself success doesn't come without discomfort. Toni's journey wasn't about a sudden leap to success. It was about small daily victories. She embraced the discomfort of waking up early, pushing her limits at the gym, learning new skills for a business idea she'd always dreamed of starting. Each step, no matter how small, brought her closer to a new version of herself. The comfort zone that once felt so safe now seemed limiting. Every new challenge opened up opportunities Toni had never considered. 5. The setbacks. Of course, the journey was far from smooth. There were setbacks, failures that felt like the end of the road. Her first business idea failed and she lost motivation more than once. But here's the thing about leaving the comfort zone: it builds resilience. Toni realized that failure was part of the process. It wasn't about avoiding failure, but learning from it. 6. The breakthrough. With every setback, Toni learned something valuable. She refined her approach, adjusted her goals, and most importantly, kept going. And then something clicked. After months of trial and error, sleepless nights, and moments of doubt, Toni's side project took off. Her passion for helping others through online coaching began to attract attention. Success was no longer a distant dream, it was becoming her reality. 7. The new normal. Toni's life had transformed. She was no longer living in the shadow of comfort, but thriving in a new normal, one where growth, challenge, and passion were the guiding forces. The success she achieved wasn't just in the form of a business or a healthier lifestyle. It was the success of self-mastery, of conquering fear, and of proving to herself that she could do anything. Toni's journey is a reminder to us all: comfort may feel safe, but true success lies beyond it. It's not the big leaps, but the small steps, the daily challenges we embrace, that lead us to greatness. What's holding you back from stepping out of your comfort zone? Remember, the journey to success starts with one brave step. If Toni's story resonated with you, don't forget to like this. From the streets of Puerto Rico to international superstardom, Daddy Yankee has become one of the most iconic figures in Latin music. But his rise to fame was far from easy. Today, we're diving deep into the incredible journey of Daddy Yankee, a story filled with passion, struggle, resilience, and ultimate triumph. Born Ramon Luis Ayala Rodriguez on February 3, 1977, in San Juan, Puerto Rico, Daddy Yankee grew up in a neighborhood where the odds weren't in his favor. Raised in a family that valued music, his father a percussionist and his mother from a musical background, it was clear that rhythm was in his blood. But for Daddy Yankee, life wasn't just about music, it was about survival. Growing up in a rough neighborhood exposed him to the harsh realities of life. The streets were filled with temptations, violence, and the constant pull of negative influences. Like many young boys in Puerto Rico, Yankee dreamed of becoming a professional baseball player and escaping the struggles around him. For a long time, baseball was his escape, his way out. He was talented, driven, and set on making it to the big leagues. But fate had other plans. At the age of 17, Daddy Yankee's dreams of becoming a professional baseball player were shattered when he was caught in the crossfire of a gunfight and was shot in the leg. The injury left him unable to pursue his career in baseball. It was a devastating blow. His lifelong dream was taken from him in an instant. But this moment of pain became a turning point. Instead of letting it defeat him, Daddy Yankee turned to his other love, music. Little did he know that the music world was about to change forever because of his resilience. During the early 1990s, a new sound was emerging in the streets of Puerto Rico, a fusion of Latin rhythms, hip-hop, and reggae that would later become known as reggaeton. While the genre was still in its infancy, Daddy Yankee saw its potential. He poured his pain, his experiences, and his heart into creating music that resonated with the people around him. In 1994, he made his debut on DJ Player's mixtape, one of the first to feature reggaeton beats. The underground scene was buzzing with energy, but reggaeton was still considered too raw, too rebellious to hit the mainstream. Yet, Daddy Yankee persisted. Yankee's journey to success wasn't an overnight story. He spent years hustling, grinding, and perfecting his craft. His sound was raw, authentic, and spoke to the struggles and triumphs of life in Puerto Rico. In 2002, he released ElCangre.com, which contained the hit single Latigazo. The album began to catch attention, but it was just the beginning. Then came 2004, a year that would change the landscape of Latin music forever. Daddy Yankee released his album Barrio Fino featuring the global hit Gasolina. Gasolina wasn't just a song, it was a movement. It catapulted Daddy Yankee to international fame and solidified reggaeton as a mainstream genre. For the first time, the world was listening, and Daddy Yankee became the face of the reggaeton revolution. Despite his newfound fame, Daddy Yankee didn't have an easy ride. He faced criticism, obstacles, and the pressure of being a pioneer in a genre that was still gaining acceptance. But through it all, he remained focused and driven. His success wasn't just about music, it was about representing his culture, his people, and showing the world what was possible when you refused to give up. Through hard work, discipline, and an unshakable belief in his vision, Daddy Yankee not only continued to dominate the music charts, but he also became a voice of hope and inspiration for millions. His later albums, such as Talento de Barrio and Mandel, continued to push boundaries while he ventured into business, acting, and philanthropy. Daddy Yankee's influence extends far beyond music. He's a global ambassador for reggaeton, a genre that was once considered niche and is now a staple in music around the world. He's won countless awards, including Latin Grammys, and has left an undeniable mark on pop culture. But even with all his success, Daddy Yankee remains grounded, always returning to his roots and never forgetting the struggles that shaped him. In 2022, after more than 30 years in the industry, Daddy Yankee announced his retirement, releasing his final album, Legendary. This album is a celebration of his journey, one that started in the streets of Puerto Rico and ended with him being one of the most influential artists of all time. From struggle to success, from the streets to the world stage, Daddy Yankee's story is a testament to the power of resilience, passion, and perseverance. He may be stepping away from the microphone, but his legacy will echo in the hearts of fans for generations to come. So, what can we learn from Daddy Yankee's journey? It's simple. No matter where you come from, no matter how many obstacles you face, if you stay true to yourself and keep pushing forward, success will find its way to you. If you found Daddy Yankee's story inspiring, hit that like button and subscribe for more incredible journeys of success. And don't forget to leave a comment below what's your favorite Daddy Yankee moment.